Henry, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler. The Eagles are the odds makers' favorites to land just about every running back. But in reality, will the Eagles go after any of them? Dallas still stinks. By the way, I can't think back here. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing. I hope you're hanging in there. So you hear it now. Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry. The odds makers love connecting the Eagles to running backs. But in reality, will the Eagles actually go out there and actually get a running back? And let me tell you, I think they should. I think it's the right thing to do, and it's not what they typically do. But I say do it anyways. Now, before we get into that, I wanted to answer a question that people have been asking me about Jason Kelce, his retirement, and the salary cap implications because of his retirement. John McMullen wrote this, and I thought this really answered the question. On the Jason Kelce cap front, the Pound Eagles still have $25.1 million to deal with. Hey, just give me a few of them straddles, you know what I mean? They will likely not file retirement papers until June 1st, which will allow them to split that number between 24 and 25. $8.6 million in 2024, and then $16.4 million in 2025. Kelce's cap number this season is 10.1, meaning the Eagles will gain $1.5 million in cap space this season, but not until June 2nd, somebody's birthday. I hate my birthday, by the way. The full bill of $16.4 million is then due in 2025, and there are no more bookkeeping tricks at that point. So Howie Roseman can't calculate the calculations of the cornbread anymore after that. And here's the thing. You're only going to save $1.5 million. You're going to have to eat the rest of that money. It is what it is. You know, Kelce retired, and now he's an Eagles living legend. He's right up there with the Brian Dawkins and the Randall Cunninghams. I mean, he is that level kind of guy. So it sucks that Kelce's not coming back one more year. I was hoping just one more year. But it is what it is, and we're going to have to eat that money. We will have an extra $1.5 million in cap space. Is that really going to matter that much? Probably not. But something the Eagles will have to deal with down the road for sure. Now, as you guys know, the tag dates to tag players have come and gone. And these are the list of the tag players that are out there this year. And two of them on this list really suck, because I was hoping that there would be an opportunity for the Eagles to grab one of these guys. Even though one of them I knew wasn't going to be likely. One of them we'll talk. Let me just shut up and just read this thing. All right. So here are the 2024 franchise players. Baltimore Ravens, Justin Madubuike, which we knew he was going to get tagged. Carolina Panthers, Brian Burns, and this is a big one for us. Another big one for us, Chicago Bears, Jalen Johnson. Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins. Colts, Michael Pittman. Jacksonville Jaguars, Josh Allen. That was my dream case scenario, but it wasn't going to happen. Kansas City Chiefs, L'Jarius Sneed. You know they're looking to trade him. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Antoine Winfield. And then the 2024 transition players was New England's Kyle Duggar, the safety. So those are your franchise guys for this year. On that list, really, there's three guys. Burns, Jalen Johnson, and Josh Allen were guys I think the Eagles would have interest in no matter what. I think L'Jarius Sneed too, and I think he'll get traded. The question is, will the Eagles pull a trigger on a corner? I still think, and I'll say this, I think right now, I'm leaning towards drafting a corner in the first round. I think there are good cornerbacks in the first round. Even if you're stuck with Trashberry one more year, I'd like to have his backup ready to go. Now, the two that really bother me on this list is the Brian Burns and Josh Allen. Because, you know, you're hoping one of those guys become available so that you can maybe, trade Hassan Reddick, let this whole Hassan Reddick thing go, and you have somebody to go out there and get. Now, with those guys franchise tagged, although I think Carolina's looking to trade Burns, Josh Allen ain't going nowhere. I think the only rational thing, logical thing for the Eagles to do is to extend Hassan Reddick. Try to work a deal out with him for 2-3 more years. And, hopefully you guys can meet somewhere in the middle and extend him. I don't see any other options unless you're willing to give him away for nothing. Because in my opinion, giving Hassan Reddick away for a second-round pick is giving him away for nothing. It is, I hear a lot of people talking about, I was listening to WIP and they were talking about how, they're okay. One of the guys was saying he's okay with the Eagles taking a step back in 2024. That's what they're going to have to do, and they're not really going to be able to compete for a Super Bowl. The hell with that. The hell with that. As long as I have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith on the team at the same time, and the offense that I have with this line, and Jalen Hurts, and he's getting the money he's getting, I'm trying to win, man. I'm trying to win. I ain't trading Reddick for anything. I ain't trading for a second-round pick. So at worst-case scenario, he's got to play his contract out. And with those guys getting franchise tagged, to me, it's just another reason why the Eagles need to just keep him and be done with it. Extend him, save the $11 million, and then let's go from there, I had the weirdest dream last night, I had a weird dream. I had a dream that the Eagles had made a trade with the Chargers for one of their pass rushers. And we were arguing and we were trying to figure out if it was Bosa or if it was Khalil Mack. And there was a whole argument. I guess I was streaming or something in my dream. And I don't know. I was streaming from the beach. I was on the beach streaming. I don't know. It's a weird dream. But anyways, we're talking and we're like, is it going to be Khalil Mack or is it going to be Bosa? Who did we trade for? We know they traded with somebody. We just didn't know who it was. And I was saying I think it's Khalil Mack because Mack and Fangio know each other and he played under Fangio and all that stuff. It was weird. So if we get Bosa or Khalil Mack, it was my dream told us. My dream told us. It was crazy. It was a weird dream. Now, I will say this. We're going to need defensive ends. We're going to need linebackers. We need a lot of things. There's no question about it. And one of the positions that we're going to need is safety. We're going to need a safety position. It looks like Xavier McKinney is going to be available. Mike Garofalo wrote this: no transition tags for Pound Giant safety Xavier McKinney. Sources tell me at Rap Sheet he'll hit the open market. And then Zach Berman wrote this: Winfield gets franchise tagged. Duggar gets transition tag. McKinney's going to hit the market. Eagles will be in on a safety market, which remains crowded even with the tags. There's going to be a lot of safeties. I think McKinney would be a great addition to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I expect the Eagles to get a safety in free agency. I think you'll see a linebacker in free agency. I think you'll see a safety in free agency. I think you'll see another pass rusher one way or the other because you still need another pass rusher even if you keep Hassan Reddick. And the question is really, what are they going to do at running back? Because the Eagles, they're the odds favorites right now. I mean, the odds favorites to land just about every running back. If you see the bookmakers in Vegas and the betting odds, the Eagles are one of the favorites for just about every running back. They're I think, tied with first for Derrick Henry. They're like number 2 for Saquon Barkley. And then now, here's another one. The Pound Eagles are currently listed with the second best odds to land Austin Eckler plus 600. The Las Vegas Raiders are first plus 450. Thoughts? My thoughts are, I don't want Austin Eckler. Okay? I don't want Austin Eckler. I want Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry. And here's why. And I know this. The Eagles don't go out and get running backs. We know this. They don't like to do it. However, in my opinion, if you get a really good running back on this team, on this offense, you have no weaknesses. Not offensively, you don't. You should be able to score a lot of points. This gives your defense room to grow and allows you to play some younger guys. So to me, I think the Eagles, their thought process should be different. Yes, we normally don't sign running backs. We normally don't do that. That's not our thing. But because of the situation we're in, where we're trying to win now and still, get young players in here and retool. Let's get a running back to really help out not only our offense but our defense. Pat Leonard wrote this: sources view the Baltimore Ravens, Las Vegas Raiders, Chicago Bears, New England Patriots, Texans, and Eagles as the primary potential suitors who have resources and interest to possibly signing Saquon Barkley. Stay tuned. I would love my number one choice would be Derrick Henry and Swift. That combination, I think, as a complementary group, that would be absolutely fantastic. But my second choice would be Saquon Barkley. And the reason I say this is because I view Saquon Barkley as a guy who, if he plays on a team with talent, especially offensively, if he's played with a good offensive line, he would put up ridiculous numbers, even through his injuries and things like that. He just did not play on a good team, and it really hurt him, and it's hurt his career. And no, he wasn't worth, the second overall pick in the draft? No. Most running backs aren't. But as a free agent, as a guy that's still young, as a guy that has never played on a good team, Saquon Barkley on the Eagles would be scary because of what you could do with him on the field. I mean, as a running back and in the pass game. Saquon Barkley, I think he would be as impactful as Christian McCaffrey was to the 49ers. Now, that's all saying you got to stay healthy. And what I can say to you guys is this. My question is this. Is having a guy that could impact your offense as good as Christian McCaffrey impacted the 49ers, or as big, would you say that's worth $10 million a year? Would you say that that's worth signing him because he would, if you knew he would make that impact? You see, the way I see it is, you got to get younger, especially defensively. You got to get playmakers, especially defensively. Why not go out, draft a corner in the first round, draft a linebacker in the second round, draft going to need another draft a young wide receiver, but bring in a star running back or a really good running back, and then let that offense go out there, score 30 points a game, and let those young defensive players start and play and learn how to get through it. Yes, I want my offense to carry me next year, especially early in the season. But I'm going to have a lot of young defensive players. I'm going to have a lot of young guys out there playing. And by the end of the year, when they start to kind of get used to it, hopefully they don't hit a rookie wall, and the defense will actually start to become better. I know for a fact that the Eagles don't like to spend on running backs. We know this for a fact. But I think they need to adjust that. I think they need to change that line of thinking. The running back talent is so big and great right now in free agency. To me, it's more impactful than what you're going to get in the draft. I think the play is to go get one of these running backs. You don't have a week. Imagine Saquon Barkley on this team with this line, with the receivers you have. I mean, dude, it's scary. Imagine Henry and Swift as two complementary pieces in that backfield. It's scary. The Eagles need to think about it in those terms. Instead of going out and bringing back guys like Trashberry and then Slay like they did last year, where they're giving all this money to these older guys. They should have done this last year. They should have gone out, made their offense even better, and then allow young pieces to start to play the defense and catch up. Do it. Take advantage of having A.J. Brown. Take advantage of having Devontae Smith at the same time on the field. And go out there and make your offense unstoppable. Your defense will follow. It will come along, especially if you can let these young guys play. That's my opinion. So, do I think the Eagles normally go out and get running backs? No, they normally don't. They don't pay. That would be different. However, you've got to take advantage of the talent you still have on this team, and you got to try to win while reloading. Let your defense go young. Let your offense go with veterans and a lot of talent. Just my opinion. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. You know what's crazy is Khalil Mack had 17 sacks last year. He had 17 sacks last year. But he's like, 33? He's 33 years old. See, I'm afraid that getting him, he's going to be a lot like Robert Quinn. Like that was his last hurrah. You know what I mean? Because he's older now. At some point, you're not going to get that kind of production. I just couldn't trade for Khalil Mack at the end of the day because I just think that you're going to get a Robert Quinn situation like you had a few years ago. Because I think Quinn was coming off 17 and a half sacks the year before we traded for him. I don't want that again. So I mean, geez. Who are they going to get as a third pass rusher? I don't know. I think Chase Young is still the best guy, man. Get him at about $13 million. Let him play in a rotation. You still have Brandon Graham who will play behind him, and I think you'll be good to go. You'll still have Reddick, Sweat, and then Chase Young and Brandon Graham all rotating in. I love it. Denzel Washington out.